Hey Cataniacs, welcome back. I want you to see the hexes. That is an amazing collection here, partly because I make a lot of my homemade add-ons and expansions, but I'm going to show you those last. Here's another 3D printed masterpiece. Oh, that's where that went. Yay, I'm going to make a ton. Victory point chits. I'll deal with that later. Another masterpiece by Samit, which is divided up into all sorts of sections based on which expansion you're talking about. Since I have enough extras at this point that I wanted to redo it my own way, I'll show you the divisions. I didn't quite follow them for myself. So on this side here, it will say like EP for Explorers and Pirates, SF for Seafarers, blah, 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 blah. I put a ton of just random hexes here, the normal ones from the base game. Da, 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 da. So all of these on this side are normal ones until we get to the front here. Some have little markings like this. Like that's one you can use with Legend of Conquerors, but it's also like plain old brick if you want to think of it as plain old brick. So you can do it a couple different ways. Also cities and knights and everything else compatible. Alright, so we have normal hex, normal hex, normal hex, and then up near the front is where I usually like to store some of my weird ones. I think I moved them all to the other side. Yeah, good. Okay, cool. Here are some from Traders and Barbarians. Some other cool stuff you can do with those. Very, very interesting and weird looking until you know what's going on. Gold hexes. A little bit of river, so I kind of put those together. Traders, Barbarians, gold, river, or you see the flowing water, that's part of a gold compatible situation. Straight up desert, which I rarely use. Oasis in the desert, also Traders and Barbarians. Throw that down here. I ended up turning most of my desert hexes into other things. These are for the fishing shoals with Explorers and Pirates. Kind of similar to the shoals in the Hawaii expansion, but not exactly. That one is actually normal. Rivers and gold, things like that, a little more desert. Here's a spice hex if you haven't seen one before. So people harvest spices there. And all sorts of other cool things for Explorers and Pirates. Yep, and then back here, a lot of them look normal, but they have either the sun or the moon on the back because they're from a certain set of scenarios. Here we go. Some more with the gold and the rivers. And then straight up normal looking ones, but they have these on the back. Okay, I'm gonna put those back in a moment. Over here I have some more funky ones that I really love to play with all the time. Here we have a whole bunch of sea hexes, like they're all water. And then these are some that I got from TableTop Monthly, who's another fan like me that likes to print up and make them for Fanmade, Homemade, and other expansions that are Catan compatible. This is amazing. Wizard Castle. If you roll a 1 and a 6 exactly, you get a discovery card. It doesn't produce anything else there. We've got this kind of play on community chest from Monopoly, but it's community treasure. Comes with cards as well. Here's a golem cave for the lightning golem. This is the haunted castle where the wraiths live, and you can have wraith cards. It's very cool. Fire golem lives in the fire cave. Thieves guild or chapel, however you want to think of it. It's the same image, but use it different ways. This is a volcano from Awaken the Dragon, which of course you can use a bunch of different ways. Lost Jungle with discovery tokens. This one's called Plantation. I'm actually going to paint on the edges and change it up a little bit. It kind of looks almost terraced. So I'm going to turn it into a fundraiser based on the research farm where I learned about sustainable agriculture. Long story short, that one's going to change a bit. Not to erase the history of plantations, but to make it more exciting and fun. This is a lake, which rolls on 4 or 10. This is another fishing lake. And then this is another tabletop monthly, the amalgam hex, and you can play with or without the red dice showing. So this one, if the red die is a 1 and the production number shows up from here, then you get a brick. This one, whenever the production number from here, like a 6 or a 9 or whatever, rolls, you get whatever you're touching. So if you're settled here, sheep, settled here, or that kind of thing. So a couple of those. Wraith Castle, and then my sea hexes, the sad one, tore a little bit, so I painted it back in. I'm going to make that more realistic later. Alright, so in here I keep a lot of my favorite ones that I've purchased, but I also keep a bunch of my homemades, and I'm going to get those out in a few minutes, just a couple of them to show. The Fisherman of Catan used to be its own separate scenario add-on, and then Traders and Barbarians came up with a way to incorporate that into its set, so I have some lighter and some darker fishing shoals like this. I just use them all interchangeably. Same ratios on the fish production anyway, so it doesn't really matter if you have one set that was an official set one way before the, it doesn't really matter. These are some of my homemades. TARDIS in space, and it's kind of glittery. This is a Doctor Who item. This is for Amethyst Caverns, and I started drawing them kind of inspired by Minecraft, the Amethyst Cavern in there, but I've shaken it up since. These are really cool. It involve dragons, cities and knights, all sorts of cool stuff. Very fun. Also workers' rights and unions and cool things like that, plus oil spills and other natural disasters, man-made disasters, environmental features, all factor in. So this is like the super mega expansion. This is from the COVID-19 set, and I think in German you would say "Wir bleiben zu Hause," but I don't know. It basically means we stay home. Squash the curve. Don't get people sick. Amethyst Caverns. Here's a Pride hex. This one I call Queertopia. What's love got to do with it? Everything. Each of my Pride items gives a little money to Trevor Project. This is another Doctor Who shout out. The time and space travel device, the TARDIS, is here in a Van Gogh painting. Starry Night, as you might recognize. This one goes with any sort of medical response to disaster. This one goes to the zombie attack. This is the headquarters that you would make out of the desert to be like, okay, how are we going to attack the zombies? And you set up a little cordon sanitaire and like build hospitals and eventually CDC structures as you vanquish the zombie horde and knock them back. It's amazing. I'm very excited about this. This is one of the ones that I painted with a certain color blue on the back, but it's kind of this weird texture. Don't think I'll do it anymore unless people want it. But here we go. I'm excited. Here's one in progress. It's not done yet. Pollination Station. Got bees, birds, flowers, all sorts of cool things. Wildflowers that are native to my area in New England in the US, but I can make it for wherever you live. I'm going to add some more flowers and some pollinators to that one. This is one that's in progress. I'm making the apiary related. I started painting bees, but they were too translucent, so I gave it a spray. I'm going to add to that soon. Apiary, like beekeeping. Portal's my favorite video game ever. So this has to do with aperture science and setting up portals all around the board. Another apiary hex, long story short, but it's part of my sustainable agriculture series. A hippie festival where you are generous to other people and relax and party responsibly and get benefits in the game. It's kind of amazing. These are just a couple of the ones I've been painting lately, but that's it. They all easily fit here. Every single one I've made fits in here, and I've made these for many months while stuck in bed. Thank you, Smeet, for your amazing organizers and custom add-ons for those. Can't wait to get it all organized together and start rolling out these add-on kits for other people if they want. I don't know. Worst case will just be me and my friends who get to have fun forever. All right, stay tuned to see another box in my collection.